Shandy. Welcome back to the Dear Shandy Bachelor Recap Fashion Police listeners. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of fashion to behold in episode 3.
All sorts of fashion.
You were really soaking it all in.
I was taking notes.
Andy, people really enjoyed getting your take on fashion, which I thought was cute.
At this point, I assume they would enjoy me doing anything. I'm not very flattered. I could also give them my take on snacks that I like.
It's funny, they seem to always want more of you, but I don't know how to tell them that it's like pulling teeth to even get your best and worst dressed.
Do not like a Fig Newton. I will say that. Do not like a Fig Newton. Don't know why people like that.
Well, today is all about fashion, and you do have a best and worst dressed, as do I, but we'll start with some honorable mentions. For best dressed, my honorable mention actually goes to Melina. I know.
Really?
I know. With her group date, during the second group date in that swimsuit, she had a black cutout swimsuit. I will confess that I have this swimsuit in white, so this is a biased choice. And while I do think she wore a few too many accessories with this, and if I'm totally honest, I did not like this white denim jacket thing she wore with it that had all these chains. However, the swimsuit was really nice, and because I've been kind of hard on Melina's fashion, I was very quick to point out something I liked.
And this is unbiased. This is not because you went hard on her last time?
Well, I just really like the swimsuit.
Yeah, you do.
But it was also kind of me feeling bad.
Yeah, you should.
But I will link the swimsuit below because it is a great swimsuit. Not biased at all. Okay, my runner-ups for best dressed, I have 2. The first is Hunter with the daytime look for the group date, the first group date. She wore an olive green cable knit sweater, sort of cropped with a crew neck. She wore these high-waisted belted shorts in cream, and she had these sort of transparent PVC heels. She looked fantastic. Her hair was down. I love how she looked casual, but still like there was a twist. She clearly had an aesthetic, a style, not trying too hard, not taking herself too seriously, but it was not boring. Based on that outfit, I was like, I want to know what else is in her wardrobe, especially with how she chose to style it. And my other runner-up for best dressed was Eliza. It was the same group date, the first group date. It was during the day. She wore this white cotton dress with these sort of puffy short sleeves and a sweetheart neckline. It was very sort of girlish, but really sweet. And I love how she styled it. She had these like wrap heels, like they kind of wrapped up her leg. And the best part of all was her slick side part ponytail. And she had her hair wrapped around in the back. It was just so elegant and understated. And she let the dress shine. And she just looked very feminine and sweet. And it was just so perfectly put together. She looked fantastic.
Well said.
Okay, Andy, before we get to my best dressed, do you want to say who your best dressed was?
My best dress was Susie.
Yes. Okay. So Susie, it was the first group date in the evening. She wore a plunge neckline black dress with a sort of subtle little lace detail. And it had these sheer black sleeves, silver hammer, sort of like pewter colored hammered earrings, chunky platform heels. But best of all, do you know what I'm going to say?
Hair was up.
Yes, she had her hair in a high, perky ponytail.
Yeah, but I also, just to take some credit for this, I also appreciated that. I have come to appreciate there is a time and a place for the hair up. This was that time, and this was that place.
Yeah, yes. It's not to say that had she wore her hair down, this would have looked bad, but it would have looked a little more like basic. Her putting her hair up really elevated this. It suddenly looked like fashion.
Yes. Yes.
Wasn't it amazing?
I have learned.
Perfect example. Yeah.
I have become a fan of the hair up.
Yeah.
There was a time and a place.
Yes. And you know what? You have good taste.
Thank you.
Well, according to me.
Yeah.
Susie was also my best dress this week.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
with the exact same look.
Wow, I actually feel a real sense of pride. Not kidding.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't tell Andy these beforehand, so he's really learning this just now.
This is maybe the best moment of my week. It's not been a good week, to be honest with you.
So I just loved this. I think it was like subtly sexy, but not too much. It had this sort of sweetness in that tiered skirt. It was kind of like flouncy skirt. The ponytail made it like power. Like it was like a power ponytail. The one thing I didn't totally love was those hammered earrings. I wasn't really sure if they went with the outfit, but it also could have been way worse. They weren't a distraction. I just don't think they added, but they still looked fantastic. And I love the heels. I love that she paired this sort of, there was like a delicateness to the dress, and she wore it with these chunky heels. It was a great dichotomy. She looked great.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. I got a little heated up.
Okay. And now worst dressed. I went very light on my worst dress this week. I just have 2 honorable mentions. Well,
Wait,
someone in the
how
comments.
could there be only honorable mentions?
They're not bad enough to be worst dressed.
Oh, so you're saying neither of them are badly dressed, but they are the least good dressed.
They're just 2 things that I'm kind of looking at askance and noticing in a not favorable light.
Yeah, askance. Is askance ever used in a positive light? Yeah.
So my 2 dishonorable mentions, someone told me last week that I should say dishonorable mentions. The first is Clayton during, actually, believe it or not the first group date evening where he wore a hoodie with a blazer. And the reason I don't have him on my worst dressed here is because I thought this was actually a step up from his previous hoodie and blazer look, where it was like a white cotton blazer. This one was a knit blazer. It just felt like it was a little more dressy. And if you were to do the hoodie and blazer look, then he kind of sort of did it right.
Yeah,
anyway,
I wasn't offended by it.
Yeah. Did I love it? No. But did I hate it? No. However, on the second group date in the evening, he wore this leather jacket that was a little too 80s for me. You know what's funny is I don't think this was patent leather, but something about the way the light reflected on it was a very sheeny, shiny leather. Yeah. And it, instead of making it look cool or like bikery or sort of edgy, it ended up looking kind of dated, actually. Not even cheap, because I'm sure it's not a cheap jacket. It ended up looking dated. Like it's like he was in a time capsule. Like he just looked like he was from the 80s. I
question whether that's his. I'm assuming that's
it's not his. No, he works with a stylist and they have everything.
They chose that. All right. Well, they're trying to give him some
edge,
pizzazz. It did give him a pizzazz. Light on the zazz and heavy on the puh. I don't know what that means, but you get the point.
Before I get to my other dishonorable mention, Andy, do you want to say who your worst dressed was?
My worst dressed was Melina.
So in this second group date in the evening, Melina wore a black mini dress with a lot of zippers across it and a sort of houndstooth patterned shawl. Mm-hmm. And you did not like this.
I have a policy. If you're going to go funky zipper, it's got to be like really sexy. It's got to make me like, it's got to be sexy.
What does that mean?
I like a sexy zipper, is what I'm saying.
Wait, so you want the zipper to possibly lead somewhere?
What I'm saying is, if you're going to go with zippers that have no function whatsoever, it's got to at least up the sexy level. It's got to be something alluring. There was nothing alluring about that. I felt like there was like secret files, like corporate files inside. Like if you open that up, it's like A through C, D through G.
You know what? Okay.
It's not good. Didn't do anything. So what was the point of those zippers?
At first, I was going to make fun of you. However, the more I think about it, the more I think you're not totally wrong. It's kind of like wearing something that has a lot of buttons on it, but the buttons don't serve any purpose.
This is my policy. I've always had this policy. This is not just a recent thing with our fashion recaps. If you're going to put something on an outfit that's try hard, there has to be a reason why you're trying hard.
Okay. So you're worst dressed, Melina.
Definitely.
Okay. So my other dishonorable mention is Melina with that same look. And look, the reason I'm not naming it worst dressed is because there were a lot of good things here, believe it or not. She had these little silver sort of Chelsea boots on that I thought were really cute. I loved how she slicked her hair back for this. This was really about the outfit. And even if it's not my taste, she made a choice and let that shine, which she hasn't done with other looks. And that's been my issue in the past, is that her hair was down and she wore all this jewelry. So actually with this zipper dress, she styled it really well. And it was just kind of like an elegant way to wear something that I would not choose for myself. However, she made it as elegant as I think that dress could be. That said, did I like the dress? No, I agree with you. It was kind of like over the top. However, I've been watching Melina Melina's fashion's been catching my eye because she always makes an effort. There's something extra
I
about
agree.
Melina's
I was
stuff.
about to say, I give her credit for going out there. She's taking big risks.
Yes. And I tend to reward a risk taker because, while everyone else is just in their PJs, she's got like a zebra print set on with like feather sleeves and like cool glasses. Like she really goes there with her fashion and I appreciate it. I didn't love this look. However, her styling kept it out of real worst dress territory.
I totally agree with you. It's the same thing as like if a guy tries to jump like 17 school buses on a motorcycle and he ends up like crashing and going to the hospital.
Oh my God.
What are you going to you give that guy a hard time? Like he tried to jump 17 school buses. You give him some credit, but he did not do well. He ended up in the hospital. So therefore it's a failure. However, what is in those zipper pockets? I unzip that. I might find some secrets about your soul, or I don't get it.
Some receipts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Some damning corporate documents.
But yeah, let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, what stood out to you in episode 3, fashion-wise. And I think that's it then, Andy, for this fashion roundup.
Tight fashion recap.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye. Dear Shandy.